Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Welcome back to Speak English Daily. If you want to sound more natural at work and feel confident speaking English every day, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about something you do every single day at work: greetings, small talk, and simple office communication. Mike, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Anna. I'm doing well, thanks. A little tired, though. I stayed up late finishing some tasks.
Oh no, a late night again? What were you working on?
I had to prepare a presentation for this week. It took longer than I expected, but at least I learned some new vocabulary while working on it.
That's a positive way to see it. Learning while working is always a win. So tell me, when you arrived at the office this morning, what did you say to your colleagues?
I just said, "Good morning," and smiled. Then I went to my desk.
That's a good start. Good morning is simple and professional. You can also say morning if the office is more relaxed. It sounds friendly and natural.
Is it okay to say, "Hey," at work?
It depends on the workplace. If it's informal and you know the person well, hey is fine. But if you're not sure, good morning is always safe. It sounds polite and respectful.
That makes sense. Sometimes I don't know if I should shake hands or just say hello.
In many offices, people just say hello or wave, especially if they see each other every day. A handshake is more common when meeting someone for the first time or greeting a client.
Got it. After saying good morning, what can I say next? Sometimes I don't know how to continue.
You can add a short question. For example, how are you? Or how's your morning going? These are very common in English-speaking workplaces.
When someone asks me, "How are you?" I usually say, "I'm fine." Is that okay?
It's correct, but you can sound more natural by saying, "I'm good, thanks," or "I'm doing well." You can also add a little detail, like, "I'm good, just a bit busy this morning."
Oh, I like that. It sounds more real. So instead of just fine, I can say, "I'm good, just a bit busy."
Yes, and then you can ask the question back. For example, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" That keeps the conversation going.
Right. Sometimes I forget to ask back.
It happens, but asking back shows interest and makes the conversation balanced.
What if I'm really stressed? Can I say, "I'm stressed"?
You can, but at work, it's better to say something softer, like, "It's a busy morning," or "I have a lot on my plate today." That sounds professional and calm.
I have a lot on my plate. I like that expression.
It means you have many tasks to do. It's very common in business English.
Okay, so this morning, if you asked me, I could say, "I'm doing well, but I have a lot on my plate."
Perfect. That sounds natural. Now let's talk about another situation. Imagine you arrive a little late. What would you say?
Maybe, "Sorry I'm late"?
That's good. You can also say, "Sorry, I'm running a bit late. The traffic was heavy." Keeping it short is best. No long explanations.
Yes, sometimes I explain too much.
Short and clear is better. Now, after greeting your team, what's the first thing you usually do?
I check my emails and review my to-do list.
Great. If a colleague asks, "What are you working on today?" how would you answer?
I might say, "I'm working on the presentation," or "I'm preparing some reports."
Very good. You can also say, "I'm focusing on the client proposal today," or "I need to finish a few tasks before noon." These sentences are simple but sound professional.
Sometimes I don't understand when someone speaks quickly. What should I say?
When you don't understand, you can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" or "Could you say that again, please?" If they speak too fast, you can say, "Could you please speak a bit slower?"
That's helpful. I usually just smile and pretend I understand.
Many learners do that, but it's better to ask. It shows that you care about the information.
True. And what about when I want to start a conversation with someone I don't talk to often?
You can begin with something simple like, "Hi, I don't think we've met properly. I'm Mike from the marketing team." That's a polite introduction.
Oh, that's good. I always feel nervous in those moments.
That's normal. Keep your sentences short and clear. Confidence comes with practice.
So today, when I see my team, I'll say, "Good morning, how's your day going?" And if they ask me, I'll answer with a little detail.
That's the spirit. Small changes in how you speak can make you sound much more confident at work.
I already feel more prepared for tomorrow morning.
All right, Mike. Now that we've greeted everyone and settled at our desks, let's talk about something we all do every morning: writing emails. Tell me honestly, do you feel confident when you write emails in English?
Not always. Sometimes I worry that my message sounds too short or maybe a little rude.
That's very common. The good news is you don't need complicated grammar. You just need polite and clear phrases. Let's start with the beginning of an email. How do you usually open one?
I usually write, "Hi, John," or "Hello, Sarah."
That's perfect for most situations. Hi and hello are friendly but still professional. If you are writing to your manager or a client, you can use "Dear Mr. Brown" or "Dear Ms. Taylor." That sounds more formal.
So, dear is more formal and hi is more friendly.
Yes, that's right. Also, if you don't know the person well, dear is safer. But in many modern offices, hi is completely acceptable.
What if I don't know the person's name?
You can write "Dear Sir" or "Madam," but that is quite formal. If possible, try to find the person's name. It always sounds better and more personal.
Okay, I'll remember that. After the greeting, what should I write next?
Usually, you add a short, polite sentence. For example, "I hope you're doing well," or "I hope you had a great weekend." It makes your message sound warm.
I see that a lot in emails. Is it necessary?
It's not required, but it's very common in professional communication. It helps create a friendly tone.
So I could write, "Hi, Anna. I hope you're doing well. I'm writing about the new schedule."
Very good. That sounds natural and clear. Now let's talk about making requests. This is where many learners make mistakes. Instead of writing "Send me the report," what can you say?
Maybe, "Please send me the report"?
That's better, but we can make it even more polite. You can say, "Could you please send me the report?" Or "Would you mind sending me the report?"
Would you mind sending me sounds very polite.
It does. When you use "could you please," your message sounds respectful. It's one of the most useful phrases in business English.
Sometimes I write very short emails like, "Need the file today." That's probably not good.
It sounds too direct. Instead, say, "Could you please send me the file by today?" You can also add a reason. "We need it for the meeting this afternoon." Giving context helps.
That makes sense. It sounds more professional.
Now, let's imagine you are replying to your manager. He sends you a report and asks for feedback. How would you respond?
I might write, "Hi, David. Thanks for the report. I will check it."
Good start. You can improve it slightly. "Hi, David. Thank you for sharing the report. I'll review it and get back to you by tomorrow." Adding a time frame shows responsibility.
Oh, yes. Saying when I will reply sounds more serious.
Exactly. Clear communication builds trust. What about ending the email? I usually write, "Thanks."
Thanks is fine if you know the person well. For a more formal email, you can use "kind regards" or "best regards." These are very common closings.
Is "best" alone okay? Yes, many people just write "best," especially in quick replies. It's short but still professional.
Sometimes I don't know how to remind someone who hasn't answered my email.
That's a good question. You can say, "I just wanted to follow up on my previous email," or "I was wondering if you had a chance to look at my last message." These phrases sound polite, not aggressive.
I like "follow up." I hear that a lot.
Yes, to follow up means to check again. It's very common in office communication.
Let me try to write a short example. "Hi, Sarah. I hope you're doing well. Could you please send me the updated file? We need it for tomorrow's meeting. Thanks, and best regards, Mike."
That's excellent. Clear, polite, and professional. Now we want to hear from you. What is one English phrase you often use in work emails? Write your sentence in the comment section and let us know.
That's a good idea. It will be interesting to see what phrases people already use.
Definitely. Practice is the key. The more you write, the more confident you become.
I already feel more comfortable with email phrases now.
All right, Mike, we've written a few emails, and now it's time for a short break. Let's imagine we're standing near the coffee machine. This is where small talk usually happens. Do you feel comfortable making small talk in English?
Not really. I never know what to say after hi.
That's very common. Small talk at work is usually simple. You don't need deep topics. You can start with something like, "How's your day going?" or "How was your weekend?"
I hear that a lot. When someone asks, "How was your weekend?" What's a good answer?
You can keep it short. For example, "It was great. I spent time with my family." Or "It was relaxing. I didn't do much." Then you can ask, "How about yours?"
So I should always ask back?
It's a good habit. It keeps the conversation balanced. Small talk is like a short exchange, not a long speech.
What if my weekend was boring?
That's fine. You can say, "It was quiet," or "Nothing special, just relaxed at home." Simple and honest answers are best.
Okay, and what about during the week? What can I say on a Tuesday morning?
You can comment on work. For example, "It's a busy week so far," or "I have a lot to finish today." You can also mention the weather. "It's really cold today," or "It's sunny outside."
Weather is always safe, right?
Yes, it's a universal topic. Everyone experiences the weather, so it's easy to talk about.
Sometimes someone says, "How's everything?" What should I answer?
You can say, "Everything's going well," or "Pretty good, just busy." You can also say, "Can't complain." That means things are okay.
Can't complain. I like that. It sounds natural.
It is. Now let's practice a short conversation. I'll start. "Hi, Mike. How's your morning going?"
Hi, Anna. It's going well. I'm just finishing a report. How about you?
"Pretty good. I have a meeting later, so I'm preparing for that."
Sounds productive.
See? That's small talk. Short, friendly, and easy.
That didn't feel difficult at all.
Exactly. The goal of small talk is connection, not perfect grammar. Even simple sentences work well.
What if I want to join a conversation between two colleagues?
You can say, "Hi, what are you talking about?" Or "That sounds interesting. What's going on?" Say it with a smile, and it feels natural.
And if they are talking about something I don't understand?
You can say, "Sorry, what does that mean?" Or "Could you explain that?" It shows interest.
Sometimes I'm afraid of making mistakes when speaking.
Remember, small talk is informal. People are not judging your grammar. They care more about your attitude and friendliness.
That's comforting. I think I overthink simple conversations.
Many learners do. Try to focus on listening and responding with short sentences. For example, if someone says, "I'm exhausted today," you can reply, "Oh no, long night?" That keeps the conversation going.
Oh, that's good. Short reaction, then a question.
Yes. Another example, if someone says, "I'm excited about the new project," you can say, "That's great. What's it about?"
I see the pattern now. Listen, react, ask a small question.
Perfect. That's the formula. Small talk at work builds relationships, and strong relationships make teamwork easier.
I'll try to speak more during coffee breaks instead of checking my phone.
That's a good plan. Even one short conversation per day can improve your confidence.
I'm starting to feel more comfortable already.
Now, let's imagine you sent an email yesterday and nobody replied. This happens a lot at work. You're waiting for information, but you don't want to sound pushy. What would you do?
Honestly, I sometimes send another message saying, "Did you see my email?" But I feel it sounds a bit strong.
You're right. It can sound demanding. A better way is to write a polite follow-up. You can say, "Hi, John. I just wanted to follow up on my previous email."
That sounds softer.
Yes, because you're not accusing them, you're just reminding them. After that, you can add your request again. "Could you please share an update when you have time?"
So the keywords are follow up and when you have time.
Correct. It shows patience and respect. Now, what if the matter is urgent?
Maybe I should mention the deadline.
Exactly. You can say, we need the information by 3 p.m. today. Here's a full example. Hi, John. I just wanted to follow up on my previous email. We need the details by 3 p.m. today. Thank you.
That sounds clear, but still polite.
Clear communication prevents confusion. Now let's talk about sending files. Many learners write, I send you the file. It's understandable, but there is a more common phrase.
I attached the file?
Very close. We usually say, please find attached the file, or I've attached the report and the schedule.
Why attached?
Because the file is included with the email. It's standard business vocabulary.
So if I send two documents, I can say, please find the attached documents, or I've attached the report and the schedule.
Simple enough. And if I want them to check it,
Add a polite request. Could you please review it and let me know your feedback?
I like that. Let me try a full message. Hi, Anna. Please find attached the updated report. Could you please review it and share your feedback?
Very good. You can also add a deadline if needed. By tomorrow morning.
Right, so they know when to reply.
Now, another common situation. Someone sends you a file. What should you answer? Maybe, thanks, I received it.
Good. You can expand slightly. Thanks, I've received the file. I'll take a look and get back to you soon.
That sounds professional.
Yes, and it reassures the sender. They know you saw their message.
Sometimes I open an attachment but don't understand something inside it.
Then you can ask for clarification. For example, I have a quick question about page 2. Could you explain the last section?
That feels polite and clear.
Always mention the exact part. It saves time and avoids long conversations later.
I notice many office emails are short but very precise.
Exactly. Short, polite, and specific. That's the goal.
I think follow-ups were always stressful for me, but now I know how to write them calmly.
Good. A polite reminder keeps work moving without creating tension.
I'm definitely going to use I just wanted to follow up from now on.
Great, Mike. Now let's do a full example together. Imagine you need information from your colleague about tomorrow's schedule. We'll build the email step by step.
Okay, I'm ready.
First, the greeting. Who are you writing to?
To Sarah from the planning team.
Perfect. Start with the greeting.
Hi, Sarah.
Good. Now add a polite opening sentence.
I hope you're doing well.
Nice. Now clearly explain why you are writing.
I'm writing about tomorrow's schedule.
Good, but let's make it a bit clearer. You can say, I'm writing to ask about tomorrow's meeting schedule.
Right, that sounds better.
Now add the request using a polite phrase.
Could you please send me the final schedule?
Excellent. You can also give a reason.
We need it to prepare the room.
Perfect. That makes your request logical. Now let's add a time reference.
If possible, by this afternoon.
Very natural. Now finish the email politely.
Thanks, and best regards, Mike.
Great. Let's read the full email together.
Hi, Sarah. I hope you're doing well. I'm writing to ask about tomorrow's meeting schedule. Could you please send me the final schedule? We need it to prepare the room, if possible by this afternoon. Thanks, and best regards, Mike.
That's a clear and professional email. Short sentences, polite tone, and a clear purpose.
It actually feels easy when we build it step by step.
Exactly. Think of emails as small blocks. Greeting, reason, request, closing. If you follow this order, your message will always be understandable.
What if Sarah replies with a question and I don't know the answer yet?
Then you can write, thanks for your message. I'll check and get back to you shortly. That gives you time.
And if I made a mistake in my previous email?
You can say, apologies for the confusion. Here is the correct information. Short and honest.
That sounds polite. I used to write long explanations.
Long explanations often create more confusion. Keep it simple and direct.
Can I also say, sorry for the late reply?
Yes, that's very common. You can write, sorry for the late reply. I was in meetings this morning. Just one short reason is enough.
I see. So most work emails follow the same pattern.
They do. Once you learn the pattern, you can adapt it to many situations.
I feel more confident now. I think I can handle most daily emails without stress.
That's the goal. Practice a little every day and it will become natural.
I'm definitely going to use this structure from now on.
All right, Mike, let's move to another important part of work communication, meetings. Many learners feel nervous speaking during meetings. How do you feel about them?
I get a bit anxious, especially when I have to speak in front of everyone.
That's very normal. The good thing is that meetings often follow a simple structure, just like emails. Let's start with the beginning. Usually, the meeting leader says something like, "Good morning, everyone," or "Let's get started."
Yes, I hear that a lot.
If you are leading the meeting, you can say, "Thank you all for joining," and then explain the purpose. For example, today we're going to discuss the new project timeline.
That sounds clear and professional.
Now imagine it's your turn to speak. You can start with, "I'd like to give a quick update," or "I have an update on the marketing plan."
So I don't need long sentences, just something simple.
Exactly. Simple sentences are strong sentences. Then you explain your point step by step.
What if I agree with someone?
You can say, "I agree," or "That's a good point." You can also add, "I think that's a great idea."
And if I don't agree?
Be polite. You can say, "I see your point, but I have a different opinion." Or, "I understand, but I think we should consider another option." This shows respect.
I see your point. It sounds calm.
Yes, it softens disagreement. Now, what if you don't understand something during the meeting?
I should ask, right?
Yes, you can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "Could you clarify what you mean?" If someone speaks too quickly, you can say, "Could you please slow down a little?"
That feels more confident than just staying quiet.
Absolutely. Asking questions is part of good communication.
What about giving suggestions?
You can say, "Maybe we could try," or "How about starting next week?" These phrases sound open and collaborative.
That sounds less strong than saying, "We should do this."
Exactly. Meetings are about teamwork. Soft language keeps the atmosphere positive.
And how do I end my part when I finish speaking?
You can say, "That's all from me," or "That's my update for today." Short and clear.
Sometimes I need to leave a meeting early. What should I say?
You can say, "Sorry, I have another meeting now, so I need to leave." Or, "I'll have to step out for another task." That sounds professional.
Good to know. I always worry it sounds rude.
As long as you apologize briefly and give a reason, it's fine.
Meetings don't seem so scary now. It's just about knowing the right phrases.
Exactly. Greetings, small talk, emails, and meetings all follow patterns. Once you understand those patterns, work communication becomes much easier.
I feel much more prepared for tomorrow at the office.